So I've got a great question from a follower who wants to know, how do you determine which side of the book bets are falling into the market? Are they back bets or are they lay bets? It's an important question. I can see already that they're thinking on the right routes, because if you can determine which side of the book these bets fall into the market, you've got a far higher chance of understanding and knowing where the pressure is in terms of order flow. So in this Q&A, I'm going to take a few moments to answer that question, and we're also going to include a fun competition where you can take part yourself, all of the viewers, and have a chance to win something in a giveaway. So I've got the question here, submitted from Conor, and it says, quick question regarding Geeks Toy. How do you set it so you can see the volume of money coming in for both back side and lay side on the traded volume column? I've seen Caan's videos where the bars fill up green, showing the volume being matched on either side, and for the life of me cannot work out how to get that going. So I don't think this is really a Geeks Toy specific question, although it's come up in the question there. But the important part of this question is the fact that you want to know whether back bets or lay bets are the ones entering into the market and matching the money. So it's a good question because you're thinking about the direct order flow in the market. Now, for understanding, for anybody else who's trying to watch this now who doesn't quite get the question, you have two types of orders within the market: make orders and take orders. Make orders being the unmatched money sat in the market waiting to be matched, and take orders being the money that comes in and matches that money from other people on the exchange. So reference to Geeks Toy, I think actually it's been covered in the traded volume bars, how to set the settings for that. So I'll get the link put in the description below if you're unsure how to turn your traded volume bars on inside the Geeks Toy. Great little feature, very worthwhile. But we'll get that linked below because that's just a little bit of settings detail. So the important concept here is you're trying to understand where the active momentum and activity and market sentiment is pushing into the market. And you've identified the fact, Conor, that you want to know, is it a back bet or a lay bet? Because obviously it's kind of like dominoes, if you were to think of it in sort of like a visual kind of way. If the price is pushing on one side, then the market has to continue in that direction, right? Or at least for a short period of time anyway. So the question comes, how do you actually tell for sure where them bets are coming from? And in an idealistic world, it would be great if there was just some kind of feature that actually told you that. But the problem is the markets often move a lot quicker than our eyes. So you can turn the speed right up on your software settings so that you're refreshing really fast in a very short amount of time, and small amount of milliseconds. But still, in a very busy, very active market, something like a Saturday afternoon or Cheltenham or Ascot or whatever, when there's that much flowing in at the same time, it's very hard to visualize and track. Charts can be useful when spotting where the traded volumes are, whether it's the chart volumes on the side of the ladder, as you've mentioned in your question, Conor, whether it's the Betfair charts or the short-term order flow type charts at the top of the ladders I have on my Geeks Toy settings. Maybe we'll get to put on the screen somewhere. They're all really useful, but they don't actually tell you, is it a back bet that matched that, or is it a lay bet that matched that? So that is the problem. The most confident thing that you can do in terms of forming your opinion, the most confident way of knowing short term, is visually. So something else that I would like to highlight at this point, I'll get the visual put on the screen for the Geeks Toy, but where the numbers flash, you can change that in your settings also, so maybe we'll get that put in the description. But where the numbers flash and money falls into the market, you can see the active amount that's matched. So if you can tally that up with the chart at the top or the bottom or the side or wherever you've got it, then you can see that X amount fell into the market, and very short term you can see that there was a little bit of movement. So that is the only sort of like definitive way of knowing, and so this is where a little bit of experience and stuff like that with software over time comes into play and is more beneficial, because you can process that information very quickly in your head that money's falling into the market, and it was very short term, it was that side, and you just have to continually keep, you know, refreshing that in your mind. Is that happening again and again and again and again? And if it is, that's where we're building that pressure, much like I said with the dominoes, where it pushes the price in one direction. But also, obviously, there's other variables with that. You've got to bear in mind you've got separate runners at the same time. So if it's happening in the same direction on multiple runners, you have to factor that into your overall opinion. So if that wasn't quite clear enough, looking at the screen now, you can see that there's money flowing into this market, and you can see that there's a bias, if you like. There's one side of the book where more money is flowing in visually. Unfortunately, like I said, you can't see that on the chart. But I can see in this instance that there is more money flowing in on this side of the book here, which is then going to push the price in this direction. So whatever we do in trading, we need a bias because we need to exploit the fact that there is an advantage in the market deviating from where it actually, you know, should be, or where it's likely to be in the next few seconds. So when you do this, you also want to consider, right, that there is a bias in the market naturally, because typically the way the industry is formed, people place back bets. More back bets are placed than lay bets. And yes, there are lots of lay bets placed in the modern era on the exchanges too, but a lot of the time it's the different back bets on different runners which are actually driving the lay price in the alternate direction on the other runners. So bear in mind that backing is a general bias within the market. Although it's probably a marginal one, it is a bias within the market, and therefore you need to find a disproportionate situation whereby there is actually a lot more volume, as you mentioned in your question, and a lot more volume of bets on one side of the book alternative to the other. So that is the simplest way to actually know for sure whether there is money coming into the market on the backside or the lay side. Unfortunately, it's not so easy to come and look at a chart for the last sort of 30-40 minutes and say it was definitely all in one direction. You can certainly see a trend, but you won't necessarily know that that was what was driving the price. Alternatively, it was, you know, was it a victim of the market because something's happening elsewhere? So, a quick question for you guys. As traders, do you think that people open a trade on the back side of the book or the lay side of the book more often than not? So maybe just answer that for yourself in the comments below. But before you do that, we want to make sure you've got a chance to take part in this little competition that we're going to have. Over the years, there's one question that seems to crop up in the comments a hell of a lot, and it's people say, how much money is in the pot on the side? And the answer is, I have no idea. So there's a load of change in this pot here. It's my sandwich pot, my chocolate bar pot. Try to steer away from the stickies these days. But have a guess how much is in this pot here. We've got a mixture of coppers, 2 quids, 50s, all sorts. I have no idea myself. So when you comment, let us know, back or lay, what side do people open the trade on, and how much money is in the pot. First 10 people to get as close as possible, when we do the draw, we'll send out a book to you. So also keep an eye out, see if your name pops up. We'll send you a message and we'll get that in the post to you as well. Just a little giveaway there. But a bit of fun, have a guess, see how much money's in the pot, and let us know in the comments below.